Hey guys, welcome to the Mana Base with Delvin with Devin. We're playing some Frontier, and it looks like we won the die roll. And this hand looks pretty good. I mean, we're a little bit flooded on these Wanderers, but what can you do? So I think turn 1 we're going to go Wanderer into turn 2 Selfless Spirit, maybe? Or maybe Wanderer at Thraben. We'll have to see what our opponent does here. Prairie Stream. Okay, so I think I'm going to go Wanderer. Pumps our first Wanderer. We go Thraben. We can attack. So if I draw another land, I can go like Wanderer into Selfless Spirit and like get in for quite a bit of damage here. There's a Copter. Could also just hold up Lightning Strike and sack Clue. I think that's what I'll do, given that our opponent has a Copter here. Well, that's a good draw from our opponent. Another Copter. So looks like he's not attacking. So what I could do is just strike the Thraben Spectre, and then he has nothing to crew. And that allows me to get in. And I think killing a Copter is kind of futile when he has two. Okay, so now I get to go Selfless Spirit. They get pumped. Then I get to go Wanderer. They get pumped again. And then I get to attack with everything. So now a Jeskai Charm would be pretty insane right here, just to pump my team. I guess Reflector Mage is good too. Two Selfless Spirits. That's not good. Mantis Rider. Okay, so I think I'm going to just try to bounce a Selfless Spirit. And then I'm probably just going to, let's see here. If he crews this, he could double block this and this. He would be taking 3. I don't think that's good enough. I think I'm just going to pass. Next turn, when I get to play out Mantis Rider, I might be able to just swing in. Reflector Mage. Probably just going to bounce myself a Spirit. That's fine. Jeskai Charm. Is this just lethal? If I attack, he can block 2 guys, get in for 3 plus 4 should be lethal. Plus I have all these things to counter any counter spells he may or may not have. Let's let him loot. I think it's just the mirror, but maybe he'll discard something spicy. So yeah, I think going back to the beginning of the game when I lightning struck his Thraben Inspector, that allowed me to get in a huge crack, which allows me to finish him off right here. So now I just get to deal 4 to him, and I even have this so that if he has like a rebuff or something, I can counter it, or negate or whatever. There's the game. So let's go to sideboard here. This should be interesting. The mirror post sideboard. So he does have copters, so you might want like smashes, but he also has selfless spirits to like protect his smashes. So maybe we don't want to go that route. Maybe we'd rather go like dispels to like counter his Jeskai Charms lightning strikes. Okay, there's also the possibility that we just don't change anything, but I do kind of like one dispel, maybe for one treasure cruise, because this is more of like a tempo game, so treasure cruise probably isn't at its best. For that reason, you might want to just cut all the treasure cruises for more like ways to protect my spell quellers and whatnot. So I think I will do that, and I think negate is just the best of all the counter spells I have access to, because negate basically, I guess it hits copter where dispel doesn't, but that's about it. And mana is usually pretty tight, so I'm gonna just bring in the 2 dispels, make my deck as cheap and efficient as possible for this tempo game, and try to kind of lean on spell queller with protection for spell queller to come out ahead. Okay, this hand seems pretty good. We're gonna keep. I think just every hand I've drawn with this deck seems pretty good. Maybe this deck is just pretty good. So I'm going to fetch for a Plains, play a Thraben. This card probably should have been banned in Standard as well. It's just an all-star. I guess now that Copter's gone, it's probably not as good, but it pretty much does everything you want. Everything you want it to do. Okay, so now I get to attack. And then I get to play out 2 more 1-drops. He's just using a lightning strike on my 1/1. That's good news. So he probably doesn't have too many creatures in his hand if he's like scared of a 1 power flyer. Another Thraben. That's perfect. It's kind of funny how I'm saying Thraben's like the perfect draw on turn 3. But it just allows me to play Thraben, crack a clue, still apply some pressure. And I think I'm going to crack for a island here. Because I've already got double white. And I've already played a bunch of white cards, so I'm probably less likely to draw more white. I mean, that's a very minor factor in the decision, but does my opponent have a spell queller? Probably. So now I can attack. He'll probably potentially flash and spell queller to try to block, because if he doesn't, I could just theoretically like do nothing and just crack these clues. I could also just play Selfless Spirit when he spell quellers it. I can just lightning strike it down. I think I'll just do that. There's the spell queller. So now I'm just going to lightning strike it down while he's tapped out. Whoops. That was a misclick. Did not mean to hit no there. I didn't know it even gave you the option. But even with that misclick, oh, there's a nice card. Even with that misclick, let's see if we can come back. I got 5 clues with a bunch of lands, so it's possible. Let's just crack one. Let's crack another one. Okay, so let's crack another clue. So what we can do here, I'm going to Reflector Mage, bounce a Selfless Spirit, and then I'll play out another Thraben. So I've drawn all 4 Thrabens, that's pretty sweet. It's a lot of extra cards. And then the fact that he had a Declaration and Stone them to give me basically 3 clues is pretty nice. And yeah, obviously I misclicked on the Selfless Spirit to get back, but let's see if it costs me the game or not. So he's bombarding one of my inspectors, that's fine. Oh, the other one, okay, that's fine as well. Okay, let's crack a clue. Drawing a lot of lands, it's not good. Let's fetch, I think I have only 1 fetchable left, so let's make sure I don't draw it. Mantis Rider's good. Let's get the beats on. Lightning Strike. It's a lot of lands. Is it a spell? I think I'll play this, and you know what? I almost have lethal. I just need to draw like another lightning strike. I think I'm just going to go to the face while he's tapped out, so I don't get like spell quillet or something. It's kind of interesting to note the treasure cruise in this position would have been better than the dispel. But my opponent looks like he brought in a lot of instance removal, so there's a copter. Play this. I think I'm just going to shoot my opponent's face. So now my opponent, it's going to be hard for my opponent to like attack with everything, or all of his flyers anyways. Because all my creatures turn on this copter. But now my last 2 Jeskai Charms are lethal, and my 3 Lightning Strikes are lethal. So I mean, me not casting the Selfless Spirit may have cost me the game because my opponent's at 2, so chances are I probably could have got in like once with it. But you know, that's Magic. And if I do lose this game, it's unfortunate, but at least it gives us a game 3, so more Magic. Okay, so come on, top deck. Let's see a Lightning Strike. Spell Queller. So I think I need to just pass. So my opponent might just flash in their Spell Queller. If they do, that's great. Because then I get to gobble up his, so there's a Jeskai Charm. I think I'm fine with Spell Quellering this instead of using the Dispel, because I want to get this Spell Queller into play anyways. And then I can use this Dispel to protect the Spell Queller. That might just be lethal. Pumping, these guys getting pumped is probably just the final blow. Oh, and there's the ultra final blow. Okay, so yeah, a couple factors led to losing this game. 1, that misclick. 2, my opponent has 5 lands in play and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do 5 extra lands, which, you know, is a thing. You know what, I can actually activate Copter and get a loot. And maybe hit something good. Oh, there's Spell Queller. But yeah, I could have potentially hit one of my burn spells there. Okay, so I'm dead. So let's go to the next game here. So I don't know if Kozilek's return is something to consider. Like, he has a lot of small creatures, but so do I, and the fact that I'm on the play means I probably don't want them. Maybe I want Fiery Impulses. Like, maybe Fiery Impulse is better than a more generic card like Jeskai Charm. Maybe I can like go down to 2 Jeskai Charms, and maybe I can cut like 1 Lightning Strike, because this is just cheaper and it almost does the same thing. Yeah, I think that's fine. Because like in that game, I could have used my Jeskai Charms to like bounce his like 2/1 Selfless Spirit or whatever, but that seemed like not great. Okay, this hand seems okay. So I can potentially go turn 1 Battlefield Forge, Thraben, turn 2 just blue-white land tap, so I have all my colors at least. Because if I go like this for a plains, then I don't have blue. So yeah, I think I can just go Battlefield Forge, Thraben, take the 1 point. Also, I want to draw another land, so not fetching gives me a slightly increased chance to draw a land. Okay, so now I can go Island. I could just Lightning Strike this. I think that's fine, just because, again, it's going to be getting in for a lot of damage over the course of the game, and it's going to probably counter my Lightning Strike later on. Like, let's say he plays a Mantis Round turn 3 or something, and I go to shoot it down. It's just... Two Wanderers. Okay, so I could just Mantis Rider him, but I kind of want to get value off these Spell Quellers. The other downside is though he could just not do anything. So I think I'm just going to fetch for a Plains, get 1 Mantis Rider into play. And now he pretty much has to do something, otherwise this Mantis Rider is just going to... So the worst thing that he could do is go like White Source Reflector Mage. That's like really bad. Copter's not so bad. Okay, so I think I'm going to just go with another Mantis Rider. He doesn't have a Reflector Mage, but this is kind of playing around him drawing a Reflector Mage, because that's the one way he could probably get back into the game. If I keep my Mantis Rider in my hand and he bounces my other Mantis Rider, then it's just like stranded for so long. And I'm finding attacking with Raven Spectre because I think he's going to want to trade his Copter for a Mantis Rider here, because otherwise he's just taking way too much damage. So I might as well just get in the extra point. Something else that's going for me is that he has 2 pain lands for his blue sources, so just pressuring his life total is good. That's a 3rd pain land. That's good for me. What could he have here? He could have Spell Queller. So I think because he could have Spell Queller, I'm just going to attack with everything, and then I'll just Spell Queller his Spell Queller. your spell queller. It's going down to 3. So him going to 3 is interesting because it's really restricting his mana. And this Thraben Inspector, again, has just been an all-star. I'm kind of surprised he's doing that now. Well, I guess he can't really wait, because if he Lightning Strikes it again, I have another spell queller, which I do have. I think I'm just fine taking the damage. I don't know if he's hoping that I block, and then he gets to flash in another spell queller, but I'm at such a life total that that's not really necessary. Okay, so I can just play this. And then when he spell quellers, I can spell queller. I guess he doesn't have it. That's fine. Now I just pass. So now he's at 1, so all of his battle lines are just turned off. So he basically has a 1 blue, 1 white or red, and then a bunch of colorless. And I have a spell queller up. He's at 1, so even this lonely Thraben is lethal. There's a tapped land. Okay, so I'm just going to... I'll crack this. I am putting my shields down if he has like a lightning strike from Mantis Rider or whatever, but even if he does, I think I'm in fine shape, and I'd rather just crack the clue. There's a copter. There's a Thraben. Okay, so I can just attack with everything, and then he's dead. Because no matter what he casts, I can just spell queller it. And he concedes. So you guys have the mirror, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah, it basically came down to like tempo, putting them on the back foot, getting them low life. Like that first game that I ended up being able to burn them out with is because I got that big Kraken for like 7 damage with the Thraben and the 2 Wanderers that put him in burn range, which ultimately won the game. So it kind of reminds me of the old Delver, like standard Delver decks and whatnot, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, there you guys have the second round. We'll see you guys in the third round.